Hello friends, my name's AJ. You guys can call me AJ or Jemiarth, I don't mind. But I'm on Instagram known as Jemiarth, and I do Christian art. I'm a Christian girly, and I really love Jesus. And I also love art, so combined two of my favorite things in the world. Here we are, and there has been some questions and answers that people want to know about my artworks and about Jesus and about me, so please go easy on me. I am not doing a script on this. I'm just talking like you guys are in front of me. We will move on with the video. I don't know if that transition worked, but here are my beloved sketchbooks, which I have completed over the years of my high school life till now. But yeah, I will continue answering some of your questions. There has been a lot of similar questions that have been asked, so I'm just gonna put them all into one chunk right here. Let's go through my first ever sketchbook. Do you want to pursue art full-time, or is it just a hobby now? Well, for pursuing art or full-time, definitely want to do it full-time if it's even available in this economy. But I'm currently doing design right now, and I'm doing art on the side, but technically they're both very interchangeable. Don't want to treat it as a hobby, but definitely want to do it long-term and do it every day as best as I can. Yeah. Okay, let's start with the first sketchbook. So this was my first sketchbook from like 2019, 2018. It's pretty dark, I would say, because I was in a dark place mentally. Yeah, this was 2019. I was not doing well, but I was really into realism. Yeah. So I've always been a realist girly. Maybe these are also some of the questions. During my art style has definitely changed a lot from 2019 to 2020. As you can see, it's been a long journey. I've been through tough days. This is one of my really emotional drawings. Yeah, but I am a huge Percy Jackson fan, so you would see a lot of Percy Jackson fan art. I actually run a fan account for Percy Jackson, which is pretty funny. Realism drawings that I did back in the day of my ink artworks. I remember drawing this in science class. But yeah, this is sketchbook number 1. What's my painting process, or what is about painting that I love the most, or how do I get inspiration? So, what about painting I love the most is just for me, I'm a fast painter. I work really quickly, so I really love seeing the whole thing come together all at once. So that's been pretty rewarding since I can paint in a certain speed. I really enjoy the painting process of just mind empty, paint, color, mix, brush. It's just been very therapeutic. And especially when I have worship music blasted. Oh, how do I get inspiration sometimes? I made a post about this, talking about how we're so quickly to run to Pinterest and everything, but nowadays, obviously, I still go to Pinterest, and I still go to different websites, or even just Instagram, just to see what others have created to pop off of that creation bounds. But I usually get my inspiration from the Bible. I know it sounds very cliche from a Christian artist, but just not even Bible stories, but even just like a sentence in the Bible. If it's like talking about the heart of God, or like the wings of God covering us, that is like, I see a whole imagery there, and I'm like, gonna paint that, and I did. But yeah, let's continue with our second sketchbook. I did this sketchbook in quarantine, so I made myself a goal, which was to draw every single day, and by the end of that month, I would write a whole paragraph explaining like what I learned in that month for art, and yeah, I would do it every single day. And I didn't miss it till like I got into like month 5, because school kind of got in the way. I drew every single day. I will put it up on the screen. There's a lot of questions regarding my testimony. Let's get my testimony into the next video, because it's quite a long one, so let's keep this video like lighthearted. And yeah, I've been making art since my mom said since 3, but since I can remember, it was one Mid-Autumn festival. I just decided to draw a wolf, this wolf, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start art now. Yeah, so that was kind of like a snowball effect down to now. But yeah, my family has met Jesus, very fortunate to be in a family raised in a Christian household. My favorite worship song is Seasons by Hillsong Worship. So good. It's one of my favorites. I usually end off painting with this song at the background. What Bible verse inspires you the most? Chapter, it's Psalms 23. It's like a whole imagery. I just lie down and I just feel peace, you know? I also painted a painting about that. But yeah, how do you paint well? Drop a tutorial. That will come in the near future when I have the time and motivation, because I am not used to filming while painting. Like, I'm not used to filming talking while painting, because when I'm in the element, I just can't multitask. How do you always get inspired and have meaning to your art? Really, I want to find the end goal that I want to have for my art before I create it. I would say to have an official painting, like a whole finished piece, I really want to have a target meaning for it first. For example, my latest piece, More Than Clothes, I wanted to signify how God can be so far, seem so far, but he's closer than we believe. So I decided to have my friend pose for a model and just create this imagery. Really make a whole draft, like a really solidified draft, and then turn it into something that's like solid. What are my majors in college? I'm majoring in design.
Oh yeah!
I just finished year 1, so that is, oh yeah, 3 more years to go. How and when did you ultimately decide to dedicate all your paintings to God? I really love reading, and I've had a lot of fandoms, been in a lot of fandoms, and I always drew fan arts just to gain like virality, or like go viral, get some likes, get some quick likes, and then get that serotonin, and then like my 15 minutes of fame is gone. And I'm like, oh. And then I realized that everyone's doing this. Everyone is doing fan art. Like, I don't want to do something that's so unoriginal and doesn't have a solid meaning. So I was like, let me try original art. And I realized that's way harder than I thought it would be. Original art, you really have to dig it up in your soul. And I feel like it's quite difficult, not gonna lie. But it really took years, I would say, years of developing my art style. From when I was high school, middle school till now, I think it's very different to compare yourself to the older artworks that I used to do. But yeah, I think the moment I decided to dedicate all my paintings to God was, it feels like it's like a child, I'm dedicating it to God. But yeah, they are my children. But it's definitely, I think it clicked in my brain when one of my paintings got auctioned off for my church, and I realized, wait, like, God is actually working. Like, this is so crazy, and it's so beautiful that he's using my talents for something greater than I can even explain and I can even fathom. So I was like, hey, you know what? He gave me this gift, so why not give it back? I mean, I want to have more meaning in my life. I want to have a purpose, and I found my purpose through him, and he gave me that purpose through my art. And I feel like even if it wasn't for art, it would be through some form of creating and expression to show how much gratitude I have to God and Jesus, that he has given me this gift to be able to express love and passion and just everything in between. And I just wanted to dedicate that back to him, back to the G. What is a Bible version I read in? I read in NIV, New International Version. Here is my firm foundation, my Bible. This is my Bible. This is New International Version by Zondervan on Amazon. I got this on Amazon. But yeah, if I were to be in a fire in my house, this is the only thing I would grab. I don't even think, okay, probably my phone as well, because it'd be in my pocket or something. But this, me and him, this is my bestie. This is my bestie. Oh, fun fact, I actually have a name for this guy. His name is Rio, because he's blue, like the bird Rio. Yeah, all my battles and tears all in one brick. How do you schedule time to draw? Well, when I was in high school, I found it easier for me to have the time to draw because we had art classes. So I always had an excuse to like do something art related because it's for my grade or like for my class, for my curriculum, for AP art, you know. Summer between going to high school to college totally neglected my inner creativity. So I had a really bad art burnout last year, so I stopped drawing quite a bit. But then scheduling my time to draw afterwards in uni was terrifyingly hard. I had no energy, no time, because uni was so draining, especially because I'm in Hong Kong. Hong Kong universities are pretty draining. Even if you're in an art major, a design major, it's still pretty hectic, I would say. Very little time for you to rest. So I did not have the time to draw much. But I would do like little art pieces here and there, but it wasn't something that I would post normally. How do I schedule time to draw now that I'm in summer break? Think of the times that I've always wanted to paint or draw, but I had no time for school. And I just take it, I just push it inside of me, and I'm like, you know what? Consume less, create more. It's just the mindset of discipline, and I'm trying to be more disciplined in my art, but definitely starting something. Just start a painting, and then eventually when you want to finish the painting, you will be forced to schedule your time to draw. Even in summer vacation where you have to hang out with your friends and stuff, yeah, definitely. What is my favorite color to paint with? Red, blue, and gold. Yes, a lot of verism. Will I go to art school? I was thinking of an art major before, but I got accepted into a design major. So does that count as art major? I would say so. What advice would you give to someone who wants to get to know Christ but doesn't know where to start? I would definitely say if that person has good friends or even has been recommended to a church, definitely go there, start there. But personally, if they don't want to communicate with others or just want to start by themselves, definitely go online, Holy Bible app, download it, and start a plan. The Holy Bible app offers a lot of plans. This is not paid promotion. The Holy Bible app offers a lot of plans that would help new believers or just exploring Christians to know more about Jesus. And I think their plans are pretty solid. Yeah, but other than Holy Bible app plans, definitely start reading the 4 Gospels. Those are more easy to know about the life of Jesus and what he did over in his life. But yeah. What kind of paint and canvases do you use? So, as the economy is rising, the prices of canvases and paints are very expensive, especially in Hong Kong. So, I have resorted to using Taobao. It's a brilliant invention. It's really cheap. Stuff there is pretty good, pretty cheap. This is called Montmartre. Sorry if I butchered it, but it's pretty good. I would say the consistency is very thick. The canvases, I just use a normal cotton cloth canvas. What is my favorite painting that I made? My favorite painting is definitely this one with the wings and the stitches. It's called Stitch by Stitch. I did this 2 years ago, I think, for my AP art, and honestly, it's my favorite piece because I self-took this picture to be the reference model for this painting, created like a piece of extension wing out, and I hand stitched into the canvas to give that sort of like 3D effect. Yeah, it's my favorite painting because it really talks about God's healing in my life, and I'm like, very personal. I feel like if I were ever to sell that, I would not sell that, just kidding. How do you make money from your art? Very long story short, I've been doing commissions since 2018. I would do like some fan art for people. People would commission me to paint some album covers or like paint their shoes or paint some characters from animes that they'd like, or even Blackpink. I got that request once. And yeah, I would be like, okay, can you pay me to do it? Because this is labor, correct? But yeah, I sort of learned the hustle culture just from friends to my parents' friends, and then slowly towards the international community. But I'd say making money with your art is a very, you have to be really careful with it, because if you're not careful with it, you would get overwhelmed and consumed with the idea of just painting for money, and that is a very dangerous road to go through. I've learned it the hard way when some years, some days, or some months that I wouldn't get any businesses from my art, I would be like, am I doing something wrong? Is my art not pretty enough? And my parents would always be like, oh, you should paint like sceneries more because people like to buy sceneries more. And I'm like, I'm not gonna paint something that I don't really enjoy painting just for the risk that people might want to buy it more. I don't want to do something that the general crowd would want to consume more if it doesn't make me happy, you know? But yeah, making money with your art really takes a really long time to develop an entire networking situation. A starting point for that is creating a website, which I have gone through so many trials. I finally successfully secured my domain. If I were a toothbrush, what color would I be? Red. Next question. What music do you like to listen to? I've always been an EDM girly, like an electronic dance music, like rave girly. But I think throughout the years, it has softened and it's become an indie. Oh, we're talking about secular music right here. It's become an indie type of folk music. Wallows is my favorite band. For Christian side band, I love Ren Collective. I love Elevation Worship. Fire, so fire. But in the rave scene, love Avicii. Avicii music has really impacted me in the past 5 years. So yeah, rest in peace. What do I do when I burn out? And what is my career goal? Burning out in an art career is bound to happen. I don't think we should suppress an art burnout when we feel it coming, when we feel that art burnout happening in our lives. I really believe we should just let it happen. Let it not consume us, but let it flow through us because it's part of the creative process. If you don't burn out once in a while, then I am afraid for you. There are always going to be inevitable burnouts. Of course, do not let it consume your life. Do not let it take over your entire identity. You have to get out of the slump one day. But as I said, I've had a pretty bad art burnout. I just didn't have the motivation to paint. Every time I picked up a brush, it just didn't seem right. And I'm like, I don't like this. I took that time to rest instead of stressing about what to do to get out of that art burnout. I just rested. I was like, okay, I'm gonna enjoy my life with my friends for now. I'm not gonna stress about art. What I do when I eventually want to get out of that burnout stage is this circular painting. First time in about 6 months that I haven't painted, and I just went crazy. Like, I told myself, you know what, you need to get back into your creative flow, so just do whatever you want. I drew stars. I never draw stars in my art. I've never seen myself use acrylic markers, and I did. So I experimented with new things. I created, I made it appear before I made it look good. I feel like definitely have it exist first before you fine-tune it, pick on it, especially if you're a perfectionist. Burning out in a spiritual sense, I would say, has also happened. I have a really good support system and a really good church system that could help me and would bring me back. But that is a bit more personal, but I would recommend this book, Art, but this is not a sponsored video. I've been recommending you guys a lot of things in this video, but it's not sponsored, just my silly little art account. This Art and Faith book by Makoto Fujimura. It has been very eye-opening. There's no one who writes it like him. It's crazy how he interprets the spiritual life and the spiritual essence of creation into your artistic journey. So yeah, definitely. Have you ever came up with hard situations and let that hinder or affect on your relationship with God? 100%. That is for another video on my testimony. I'm gonna leave you guys on a cliffhanger. I just realized I didn't even go through any of my sketchbooks, so hopefully it will be playing in the edits version. But yeah, this video is really long and I want to edit. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. I hope I have answered most of your questions because a lot of the questions have been similar and I'm just trying to pack them in one thing. Thank you so much for watching my first ever official YouTube video. I'll see you guys in the next reel, next post, or next video. Peace out. Bye guys.